if you are given admissions, especially PhD, because there is more funding for PhD courses or programs than masters. The reason is that so guys, I want to say something here, all right, to international students or those of you who are watching me and you are still to apply to grad school. There is something a lot of us we don't understand. First, understand that as a student who is moving to grad school, you are going to be doing a lot of research work, okay? Now, this is what you need to know. As you are applying, first of all, you need to do the research on your own, all right? Then, when you move to school, you have to continue with the research. That is why if you are applying for a school in the US, there are certain criteria that you need or certain things you need to submit. And when you submit those things, it's going to take a lot of time for, not like a lot of time, but there will be time that the admissions team will decide to look at your files, not just your files, but with other applicants to decide who they are going to admit to the program to come in and do the research. Now, you also need to understand that most of the professors over there, sorry guys, I have not slept well these days. So most of the professors over there, they get funding from the government. Some get from NAS, some get from NASA, especially the science professors who are in science fields like chemistry, biology, environmental engineering, science, geology, geoscience, and all the rest, okay? These professors, they get funding from the government. Then they recruit students and pay the students to do the work. That is why you are going to be studying for free, because there is money these professors are going to give you, all right, in form of teaching assistantships, in form of grants. Then you come in and do the research with them. That is why I always say that when you are going to grad school, when admitted, if you watch my video and I say automatic funding, it means that if you are given admissions, especially PhD, because there is more funding for PhD courses or programs than masters. The reason is that PhD takes a lot of time, okay? PhD takes a lot of time. That is why they fund PhD more. Now, for those of you, before I forget, for those of you who have HNDs, who have bachelors, remember it's also possible to go from bachelor's directly to PhD. All right, it's not difficult. I hope you understand. If you have been watching this channel for long, you would hear me mentioning how you can do that, and people have done it. I know someone with an HND who had an HND from Nigeria, but she got 7 PhD fully funded. All right, now you may be asking yourself, how did she get them? All these things, like I said, you have to do research. Remember, you are a researcher. You are saying you are a researcher, which means that when you go to grad school, you will still continue to do research. That is why these professors are looking for people that can do research and pay their tuition fee for them to come in and do this work. Now, let me explain again further. For example, if a professor tell you that let's say you wrote an email to a professor asking the professor that you found interest in his work, you want to come and work with him, and he says, okay, tell me more about yourself. That is interest the professor is building. Now, you need to go tell the professor stuff about you. Then, if he sees that your research, the research you want to work with, is with what he has on ground, then he can then tell you to apply and you inform him. That way, you are going to secure admissions very quickly, as quick as possible. Sometimes when you go to the websites of the university, you will find the information written by the professors there that they are looking for students. That is because they already have research work they are working on. All right, they have research work. Now it's for you to play your cards very well and think out of the box, then try to fit into the research he is doing. You must not necessarily do research in what maybe let's say you must not necessarily do research in what you have done research in before. All right, you can start the research in a fresh field, but most of the times they will always want students that have research interests that aligns with theirs. For example, you cannot maybe have research interests or have your past education was in philosophy and you want to do research in mathematics. It doesn't work. Or in chemistry, it doesn't work. Okay, so Most of these lecturers will always do this. Now, let me talk about those that don't have research qualifications. If you don't have research qualifications, for you to go into grad school, it is very easy. You have to demonstrate that you are fit, you are ready to go into grad school and learn and study, all right? This is what professors are looking at. They want someone who can work, who can learn, and who is willing to work. So, I would suggest that if your grades are not good, this is just an advice I'm giving to students who want to pursue maybe a master's or a PhD. But like I said, PhD have more funding. So if you have a bachelor's degree with good grades and maybe other qualifications, because remember most of the things, then you can go for PhD if you have this. But remember, most of the things they are looking at is not just your CGPA. They are equally looking at your recommenders, or people who wrote recommendation letters for you. They are looking at the weight of the recommendation letters and the recommenders. They are equally looking at your academic transcripts, all right? They are looking at your CV, okay? Then they will look at your general application package. Then before they go to your transcript, and after your transcript, they look at your statement of purpose. Sometimes it's a personal statement and sometimes it's a statement of purpose. But understand that the two are not the same, all right? Statement of purpose is different from a personal statement, but somehow a personal statement has to fit into the statement of purpose. I don't know if it's going to make sense to somebody, but I've explained this on this channel times and again. Okay, so if you are targeting, let's say you are targeting a university or you are targeting a particular professor, this is my advice for you, or this is a trick I want to give you. If you go to a university and you realize that, first, check a list of all the programs available, okay? Check all of them. Then you go to the lecturers and check what they are doing to make it easy for you, all right? Sometimes you may write emails, they will not reply. Sometimes they will reply and they will give you maybe results that are not positive. It's okay, you move on quickly and you go to another program, all right? You go to another lecturer because you are looking for funding. You need the money to pay your tuition fee and study, but they already have the money. They are looking for who to give the money to study and do the work alongside them, because they are just there to supervise you and give you directives. You are the one to do the work. Those work, sometimes when you are doing them, the work sometimes comes from organizations, scientific organizations, maybe scientific firms or research laboratories or libraries and stuff like that. You understand, that have been paid already. They just need to give you the money. That's why PhD has a lot of money than masters for funding. When they are funding you, sometimes chemistry courses go up to like maybe $40,000 per year. Yes, that is it. A lot of people don't know. So now, when you have to first of all put this into your mind. When you go to a university, check that. All right, when you check the professors, list of the professors, you always find professors, maybe professors that are coming new to the university. You will see them. Those that will be coming in for the first time, you will see them. They may indicate. You will see professors that may be leaving the university. You will see that. You may see professors that are, some professors will purposely write on the website that they are looking for students. That is because when you see such a position, okay, I would recommend you extend your hand or your fingers to such positions or such areas, because most of the times it would be easy for you to go in, especially if the research interest is in something that a lot of students are not aware or don't want to work with. For example, if you see a professor that is looking for students that want to do seismology or maybe things related to earthquakes and seismic waves, I would recommend, if you have a petroleum background, you should go for such programs, because such programs will rarely take international students, especially geophysics. All right, I'm not saying that students will not apply. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm just trying to say, looking at the perspective, or looking at what, because I've been doing YouTube now for 2 years plus counting. Very soon I'll be 3 years on YouTube. A lot of students are running away from such things, all right, because it's not like it's difficult, but the notion that we had in bachelor's, for example, myself, I used to run away from certain courses when I was in high school, like mathematics and physics. But at a certain point, I realized that all those things I'm running away from are things I could basically just grab like this very easily. All right. So it all depends on the mind. You have to put in intelligence. All right. Try to think and reason, so that you do not give up on certain things that you are not supposed to even like think about them twice and you get it. That is what you need. Now, the documents you will be needing for grad school application, if you want to study a master's or a PhD in the US, of course, you need your bachelor's degree transcript and attestation. You cannot do a PhD in the US. I'm now focusing more on PhD. So that is what you should know. You cannot. Then the other document, most of the times your master's, or let me say a bachelor's certificate, may not even make any sense. They may not need it. So that's something you should know. Again, understand that transcript is very important. Some schools will accept unofficial transcript while others will not. So you have to pay attention to all these details and make sure you put things into consideration. Work with purpose and passion, all right? It's very, very important for you to note this. Then again, remember that you equally need things like recommendation letters and CVs, and of course, a statement of purpose or maybe personal statement. Okay, you will always submit these documents, and some schools will ask you for an application fee payment. If you do not have the application fee, try to ask the graduate coordinators of the various universities you are applying to. Some will accept to waive the tuition, some will not waive it. All right, like it's university, there is one school in Florida that I know they will not even accept to waive the application fee for you. In that case, you just apply and you move further. All right, I hope you understand and I hope you enjoy this episode. Till we meet again in another one. Peace.